Okay, this is a quick tutorial for mounting a binding, and in this instance it's a version of kind of a DIY telemark text system. Using a Dynafit toe and then the new cable blocks and the TTS heel. Anyway, I've done a couple things different here. It's always a problem marking bindings. They might give you the center mark like they do here on this G3 ski, but then lining things up with a paper jig I think gets a little dicey in terms of reliability, so I think it's good to use it as a guide sort of, but then use some better tools to align center marks and to actually drill the holes. I don't trust the paper jig. I do trust the actual product. And so I kind of use that as my final perfect template. But one of the key things that I am doing a little different here, at least for myself, is I'm using masking tape. So I can draw a center line and something that's perpendicular to that, and I'm not relying on these curved edges of a ski. Anyway, so in this particular setup, I can't use the Dynafit base plate because you will see that it extends into the zone where the cable block goes. So I'm going to use something else. I'm going to use the original TTS toe riser and put that in there, and then it turns out that where this was recommended I just didn't cut this enough, so I'm going to nudge it back, and that's okay. I think it'll give me enough variability and put things in a place where I want them to be. So drew a center line, drew a square line, and then lined up these holes on the square line, and I drew circles and I marked the exact center. So now I'm going to punch it and drill it, and then we're going to put all this together pretty quick. So key is just getting a good solid position. That looks good. A little. That one's right on. So this one I'm going to have to nudge with the drill a little bit. Now I'm going to start with this one. And the key is to make sure you're square. Okay, now I'll go for square. I think I got that recentered. Okay, when I do the glue here, I use Gorilla Glue and a little secret sauce. I just put 1 drop of secret sauce in there. I like Gorilla Glue because it foams up, and what that does is it kind of, I think it forces the glue into every bit of surface area, which increases the bond strength. That's another beauty of the masking tape. You can make some mistakes and then clean up the mess just before you put things together. So here goes. Let's get it done. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Now it's best to actually thread these holes. I don't have a tap for this, so what I did is I just screwed each of these screws down a couple of threads, nice and lightly by hand, but firmly, so that it cut into the wood. And then I added the glue, and I'm just lightly putting these in to begin with. And then this center screw with the Dynafit toe needs to be a little bit narrow in the head, so I ground the edge of that down with a Dremel. You really want a Dremel when you're doing this stuff. It just helps out. Okay. Finally pull the masking tape. I'm going to put this in the frontmost pivot point because I think TTS is plenty powerful, and I don't, if anything, I need to detune it. So in terms of its total, the amount of power it delivers through the tension in the cable. Looks like I'm going to need inserts on that. That's phase 2 of this mounting process. Okay, to figure out where I'm going to put the heel post, I tighten this up so it fits on the boot real snug, and then I'm going to slide this back here. I want it to snap underneath, so I kind of want it there, and maybe back just a smidge, so that's, I mark that here. I'm going to put a jig on. The black diamond jig for the 01, and all I really need are the heel alignment tools. So that's what I'm going to use here, is just the heel part. Fortunately, the heel piece for TTS conforms to this pseudo norm in the telemark industry. Use the stepped bit and zip away. Put in some Gorilla Glue here again, but this time I'm not going to add the secret sauce because if I want to move these, I don't want these to be hard to take out, and they don't take any real stress. So okay, so now we're going to rip this. There, that's better. It's being a little bit more cooperative. Add in a screw here. And number 2.